Hi, my name is Trinidad Ramkissoon. I'm a seventh grade special education teacher. I am extremely passionate about education. I'm excited about education because I remember the moments when I didn't know something versus when I did. And I think that's when the greatest learning happens. And some of the best teachers I've had have been always invested in that pursuit of the process. And that's really, really important for me. A little bit of background. Before I became a special education teacher, I was a theater teacher. And you're like, how did that happen? How did you go from theater to special education? Well, I have an answer because I get asked that all the time. And so I originally started off as a theater teacher, and I was doing meaningful work to me. And I think it was meaningful for my students because they were very successful. And I could just see the joy that just resonated in their heart. I was noticing that there were students that were extremely successful in special education, but I was noticing academically they weren't thriving. And there was a huge disconnect. And I was like, what's going on? And I didn't have the tools to help them. And so I said, hey, I'm going to go back to school. And that's how I eventually went to get my master's at Lesley University, where I pursued a degree in moderate disabilities, 5 through 12 specifically. And so I was doing that program, and I was like, this is fantastic. And then I became a special education teacher because I was like, this population of students, they're so fascinating. They have so much to teach me. And I think I can be a huge advocate in the same way that my mentors was an advocate for me when I was coming through the education system. And in my heart, I believe that every student needs a personal approach. And I know we might not have the capacity to have an individual education plan for every student, but every student needs to be advocated for. Every student learns in a specific way. Every student has something that makes them unique and gets them activated and excited about learning. And so while I'm very passionate about special education, I'm interested in taking that passion that I have for advocacy and making sure that I could transition it and transfer it to all of the young people that I'm working with. And eventually, as I become a leader, any of the people that I have the privilege of supervising, because they're going to need specific things to make them successful. And I want to be really, really curious and interested in that. And that's something that I really developed and learned while I was pursuing that degree. One of the other things that I think about with regards to education, with regards to my lens as a leader, is the fact that I want to be who I needed when I was growing up. And I want to be who I needed when I was growing up because I had those people. I had fabulous leaders and mentors, and it's really important for me to keep their legacy alive. And the best way that I can do that is by regifting what they gave to me. When I think about my mentors, and I think particularly about what made them effective leaders, and particularly what matters to me when it comes to promoting positive growth-oriented change, and the themes that encompass that, is you have to be culturally educated. Wherever you are, you have to understand that culture while also being culturally respectful. So it's not just being like, oh, they like a handshake, so I'm going to give them a handshake. It's understanding, what does that handshake signify? What does it symbolize? And acknowledging that I am entering in this with this group of people. I think that's really, really important. Also, having a vision. You can only achieve what you see. And so I think a leader has to be able to see what it is that they're looking to accomplish. I always was clear on the vision that my mentors had and where we were going. Profound care about your students. And while all of the things that I said are important, if you can't do any of those, at the very least, be present. Be present and be present on a consistent basis. When you are consistent, so much can happen. There's so much you can learn. We're exploring about data. We're talking about taking information that can only happen, that can only be captured if you are there and you're present. And so those are some of the things that I look to continue to develop, cultivate, and expand on as I grow as a leader in this program and beyond. Thank you all so much for listening.